snow arrives in the 4 states, meteorologist Nick Kelly will break down what we've seen and what's still left to come. How you can keep your pets safe as temperatures continue to drop. The fallout continues the day after the Senate acquitted former President Donald Trump in his historic second impeachment trial.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Winter storm warnings are in effect for pretty much the entire area as dangerously cold temperatures and now dangerous road conditions with this widespread snowfall moving through the area. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. We begin our winter weather coverage with meteorologist Nick Kelly. Nick.
So far, Chris, we've seen at least 1 to 4 inches of snow. Doug observed 4 inches of snow in his part of Joplin, and that has made for downright cold temperatures today. A low of 1 and a high of 5. Keep in mind, we should be topping out around 50 on a normal Valentine's Day with lows starting around 29, but not this time around. Winter storm warnings continue for much of the area in the white until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And winter weather advisories in our far northern counties until noon tomorrow. Still, we have our next band of snow, or this is currently rather our second batch of light to moderate snow working through. And not only that, I'm watching additional snow continuing to develop across central and southern parts of Oklahoma. So we are not quite done with our snow chances just yet. Temperatures are at 0 in Fort Scott, -2 in Iola, 3 in Anderson. Wind chills will make it feel like it's between -22 and -10. We're going to start to wind down the snow chances through tomorrow, Chris, where we're talking about bitterly cold temperatures for the next few days. Wind chills, dangerous as well. We'll break that and the extended forecast down coming up in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. In addition, there are several ways for you to get the latest weather information in your area. You can visit our website at koamnewsnow.com, and at the top of the page will be the current weather alerts, links to road conditions, and of course, any cancellations in your area. Additionally, you can download the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You have the latest weather forecast and alerts all in the palm of your hand. Just head over to your favorite app store and search for the Skywatch weather app. Now, we mentioned some of these last night, but we want to remind folks of the warming centers that are available in the area. Now, the Byers Avenue United Methodist Church in Joplin will be opening from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., providing a warm place to sleep, food, and to-go bags for when folks leave in the morning. They'll also provide showers if needed. St. Paul's United Methodist Church on West 26th Street in Joplin is open from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They're going to open each day this week, Monday through Friday, during that time. Also in Joplin, the Mini Hackney Community Center at 110 South Main is open as a warming center. They're providing hot food and drinks as well as warm sleeping quarters for anyone in need. And they'll be open all day during the next 3 days. In the city of Lamar, they're opening the Lamar Memorial Hall at 11th and Broadway from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They ask that you don't bring any animals to the warming center, and for information there, you're asked to call the Lamar Fire Department. In Miami, the New Hope Christian Church at 2221 Rockdale is open now until the need passes. They're providing food, cots, blankets, and clothes to those who come in for shelter. And with the extreme cold, Spire and Liberty Utilities asking their Missouri customers to conserve energy due to a significant increase in demand for electricity and natural gas across the Midwest. Spire is asking customers to turn thermostats down a few degrees and try and limit your use of natural gas fireplaces. Liberty Utilities in Joplin has issued a peak alert to go with this. They're asking customers to conserve energy throughout the day, but particularly between 6 and 10 a.m. and then again from 4 to 7 p.m. The Missouri Southern State University says the campus will be closed tomorrow due to the weather. However, they're pivoting to an online learning model and telework model. The university says that the rec center will be open, the health center will be closed. 5 people from Joplin were injured in a single vehicle crash on I-44 in Rogers County, Oklahoma today. Authorities say a car driven by 18-year-old Davon Reed of Joplin was heading west on I-44 onto the exit ramp to US 412 when the car left the roadway and struck a tree on the driver's side. The driver and 4 passengers, ages 15 to 21, were injured, but not seriously. There was a sizable crash involving multiple vehicles on an Oklahoma City highway today. Now, according to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, crashes occurred in both the eastbound and westbound lanes of the Turner Turnpike. Officials believe at least 6 vehicles were involved in the accident in the westbound lanes, including 2 semi-trucks. Injuries requiring hospitalizations were reported. Highway Patrol officers responded by diverting traffic in the westbound lanes while they got the scene under control. Oklahoma City's Fox 23 News says the crash is being blamed on the rough weather. And a number of you have been sending in your photos of the wintry weather as well. This here is a photo from Gary Gilming near the dam in Knoll. You can see all that snow on the ground, certainly more by now. This photo is from Kevin Denning, which he appropriately titled Valentine's Snowfall. And as I said before, there's probably a lot more snow on that deck. This photo comes to us from Philip Williams in Diamond from the intersection of 59 and J Highway. Like many areas, the roads here not looking too good. MoDOT reporting they're not any better. If you've got some winter weather photos you'd like to share, just head over to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/KOAM Fox 14, or you can share them through the KOAM News Now app. And the brutal weather is making it dangerous for anyone outside, especially pets who cannot handle the cold. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with someone at the Joplin Humane Society to learn some tips on keeping your pets safe.
As temperatures continue to drop and snow continues to fall, going outside isn't the best idea. And it's even worse for your pets. Andy Logan, kennel manager at the Joplin Humane Society, says your pets shouldn't be out unless absolutely necessary.
Keep your animals inside right now. It is for the best.
It's not just the cold weather that could harm your animal. Andy says things like clearing ice from driveways can cause bad news for your furry friends.
Salt and anything that melts ice, any sort of chemicals you're using to melt the ice, keep your driveway clear of ice, any of that kind of stuff is very harmful for your pets' paws. If they're laying in it, of course, that's bad for them. So definitely if you are taking them outside on a walk and you live in an apartment, somewhere where they're going to be going outside on pavement that's been treated, definitely wipe their paws immediately when you get them inside.
He says these chemicals can really do some damage.
It could cause a lot of chemical burns. It could be very, very detrimental to the pads of their feet. It could get up in between the pads of their feet and cause irritation. And I mean, they would have to be seen by a vet if that happens.
Although if you must keep your pets out, they need proper shelter.
They need to have a shelter to where they can get in out of this cold. And if it has a door on it, it needs to be covered some way. You know, like a sheet or a blanket covering the door to where the wind isn't going to be able to get in.
Andy says he's thankful they haven't needed to handle any serious situations with animals yet. But if you know of an animal being neglected, to reach out. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The Joplin Humane Society says most pets aren't made for this cold weather and pet owners should help them out as much as possible. We do take this time now to honor another one of our many four-state heroes. Lance Corporal Brian Holland served with the Marines in Iraq, his hometown, Frontenac. We are proud to recognize Lance Corporal Brian Holland, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own. Just head over to our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. And that's a look at our top stories and a check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, we'll hear more from the CDC and Dr. Anthony Fauci on the plans to reopen schools. With his second impeachment acquittal behind him, former President Trump remains eligible to run for the White House again in 2024. Now, on Sunday, lawmakers are reflecting on the Senate trial's outcome and looking ahead to their next challenge, COVID relief. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
The day after President Trump was acquitted, House impeachment manager Jamie Raskin says Democrats faced an uphill battle trying to convince Senate Republicans.
You know, there's no reasoning with people who basically are, acting like members of a religious cult and when they leave office should be selling flowers at Dulles Airport.
The 57-43 vote fell short of the two-thirds majority needed to convict the former president. The 7 Republicans who joined Democrats to vote guilty are now facing backlash. Saturday night, the Louisiana Republican Party Executive Committee voted to censure Senator Bill Cassidy. He's defending his decision.
I'm attempting to hold President Trump accountable, and that is the trust I have from the people that elected me. And I am very confident that as time passes, people will move to that position.
Alaska Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski issued a statement saying, quote, If months of lies organizing a rally of supporters in an effort to thwart the work of Congress, encouraging a crowd to march on the Capitol, and then taking no meaningful action to stop the violence once it began is not worthy of impeachment, conviction, and disqualification from holding office in the United States, I cannot imagine what is. With the trial over, Congress plans to tackle COVID relief when it returns from recess. Without a deal, millions of struggling Americans are set to soon lose emergency unemployment benefits next month. House Democrats are working to push through President Biden's nearly $2 trillion plan, while some Republican lawmakers are calling for the price tag to be cut by about 2/3. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden has said he's willing to compromise on who gets $1,400 stimulus checks based on income and may have to separately pursue a $15 minimum wage in stages. The nation's top public health agency said Friday that in-person schooling can resume safely with masks, social distancing, and other strategies, but vaccination of teachers, while important, is not a prerequisite for reopening.
You know, here's what I will say. My goal is to make sure that the guidance got out. The guidance has gotten out, and it was released on Friday. And the guidance does specifically say that there are many mitigation strategies that are layered mitigation strategies that are necessary to reopen. There are also additional mitigation strategies, such as teacher vaccination. That's what our school guidance says. Our other guidance on who should be vaccinated, our advisory committee on immunization practices, suggests that teachers should be prioritized in the 1B group.
Dr. Anthony Fauci sat down with George Stephanopoulos on ABC's This Week to discuss his thoughts on getting students back to school, which he says it can be done, but schools need help beyond the guidance.
And I think that the schools really do need more resources, and that's the reason why the National Relief Act that we're talking about getting passed, we need that. The schools need more resources. The things we didn't have before, there wasn't anything that was put down solidly on paper on saying these are the kind of things that you should consider, these are the kind of things that you should follow. I mean, there was talk about it, but it wasn't actually put down in a single document that you could access.
Meteorologist Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast.
Getting smart.
Certainly has felt like a long time since we had a big accumulating snow like this storm system's doing for us, but that is exactly what began to unfold today. Oh, not just over Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri, an amazing time lapse there, but we've seen pictures all across the area as the snow continued to stack up throughout the course of the day. Take, for example, our chief photographer, Ty Parks. He had this shot earlier today when he was driving along a shipper-decker in Joplin, and that was one of the north-south roads that had to be caked with quite a bit of snow. We had Kim Adcock showing her view from Winfield, Kansas, quite a bit of snow on that van as the snow got going this morning. And we also wanted to show Stacy Martin's photo. This was when she was on Industrial Drive, taking it nice and slow in Neosho, the county seat of Newton County, Missouri. We're not done with our snow chances just yet, with this storm system at least. Winter storm warnings continue for much of the area until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and winter weather advisories in our far northern counties, and mainly an issue for the Kansas City area. We have wind chill warnings on top of the snow that's still ongoing, because not just for tonight, but through Tuesday morning, at the coldest, we'll have wind chill values between minus 30 and minus 20. So it's going to stay bitterly cold for the next few days before we try to improve things by the middle of the week in some respects. Earlier today, we had one wave of light to moderate snow work on through, a bit of a lull during the afternoon. Now we're in the middle of our second wave of light to moderate snow, mainly affecting areas right along and south of the I-44 corridor. A good number of you in southeast Kansas, north and west of Parsons and Erie, backing things down to just snow flurries, so you're getting a bit of a lull as we begin the late night hours out. But I'm watching yet more snow develop across parts of Oklahoma and even back into parts of Texas that'll have to work in as we head through tomorrow. Temperatures in general, they were cold to start this morning. Joplin started around 1. Others started in the mid-single digits. Some spots got as warm as 9 today, while 5 was what we had to make do with at Joplin Regional. And as far as where we stand right now, it is 0 in Joplin, minus 2 in Iola, 4 in Grove. Then you factor in that wind chills. Already feels like minus 25 to minus 15 outside. The Skywatch storm tracker continues to have us socked in with the clouds in addition to the periods of snow that will continue to work on through. The surface still has high pressure well in control and dominating much of the lower 48 with all this Arctic cold weather working all the way down to the Gulf Coast. This upper low over the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, that'll start to work on through tomorrow and put an end to this system. Then I have this low in the Pacific. That's another system we'll have to watch by the time we hit the middle of the week. But for tonight, we'll have this wave of light to moderate snow continue. Then by the time some of us get the morning drive started on Monday morning, we're going to back things down to some light snow flurries. Then we can see another batch of light to moderate snow affecting on most of you on the Missouri side to start the afternoon. Then we're done with the system once we hit the very late afternoon hours. But as far as temperatures go, we start at minus 6, 1 at noon, and topping out around 3. Now, as far as what this additional snow will do for us in terms of snow totals, we're still going to hit the mark in terms of what Doug and I have been thinking for the past couple days now. 4 to 7 inches on the average. It's not impossible, rather, that some of you could see some isolated amounts over 7 inches before this snow is all said and done. So again, with the wind chills though, minus 30 to minus 20 is what it will feel like as you walk out the door in the morning, and it will only improve to about minus 20 to minus 10 throughout the day on Monday. Minus 11, at least we get to get a break on Tuesday with highs around 16. 23 with another shower of accumulating snow Wednesday with that low in the Pacific. And 24 Thursday, quite to start the weekend, Chris, and fortunately back above freezing by then.
It looks like it's only about 1 week until summer gets here compared to what we've got.
I know, compared to where we are now, it will feel like summer by this time next week.
I'm looking forward to that. Nick, thank you
we
so
all
much. Well, coming up in sports, Carl Junction's Destiny Berge reflects on her 48-point career night. Plus, Missouri Southern's new head football coach, Atiba Bradley, and assistant coach Joe Battasso go way back.
Highway 10.
It's a new era for Missouri Southern football, the Atiba Bradley era. Bradley was announced as the new head football coach of the Lions program earlier this week. Bradley returns to his alma mater and reunites with an old friend. He and assistant coach Joe Battasso are both Joplin natives. They were teammates at Missouri Southern as well. Battasso has spent 3 seasons as part of the Lions coaching staff, including a stint in the 2018 season when he took over as interim head coach.
The term brother from another mother applies here. Joe and I played high school together. Joe and I played college together. Joe was the best man at my wedding. Our relationship goes all the way back to middle school, playing in little, So he's a guy that I've known for over, 25 years. And he's a guy that in this profession has done a great job. He's continuing to learn, he's continuing to develop, so it makes it easier. Obviously, 1, he's my best friend, but 2, he's a hell of a ball coach.
The Missouri Southern Lions racked up a string of 3 wins in a row prior to facing number 3 ranked Northwest Missouri. Unable to pull off the upset, the Lions fell 83-69. It was a solid day for Lawson Jenkins, though. The freshman posted a team-high 26 points with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. The Pitt State Annual Gorilla Classic finished up on Saturday. Haven Lander had quite the impressive day, breaking multiple records on the pole vault, including her personal best and the school's best. With the Gorilla Classic finished, Lander's focus now shifts to the MIAA Indoor Championships. That leaves the senior with a few weeks to prepare. The conference championships begin on February 27th. Following is Nationals, where Lander is a 2-time champion in her discipline.
Pretty much my focus now is more on getting that technique down a little bit better, kind of getting ready for the 60 as well, and just pushing myself more in pole vault and trying to see those bars in practice as well, just so that way when we get to meets, it's a lot easier for me to jump at those heights.
The number 10 ranked Carl Junction girls took down Webb City 76-50, but there was more to the game than just the Bulldogs coming away with another win. Harl Junction's Destiny Berg had a career night. She put up 48 points. That is over 60% of her team's total points. She credits her teammates with getting her open and then getting her the ball. 48 sets the bar high. This is her response to going for 50 next time around. Take a look.
I don't know. That's kind of a lot. I mean, I can try, but it does a lot with my teammates, just getting me open and stuff.
That's a look at sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Anyone with a casino.
Well, today is Valentine's Day, and while many of you may not have been able to get out to share a nice romantic dinner together, you're still able to share your love at home. We've asked you to send in pictures of the cutest couple in your life. Now, of course, it could be your own relationship, your parents, friends, whoever. We wanted to take some time to feature a few more of those tonight, like Brandon and Wendy Myers. They've got a common link between them that they can share even when snowed in. It's a love of basketball and football and, of course, each other. Then there's Jim and Julia Stone. They met through Match.com, and they later found out their kids already knew each other. When the weather is warmer, they like nature walks and photography, are photographing bugs and flowers, and going for long car rides through the Ozarks. They've been together through thick and thin, as you can see in this photo they sent us, for the last 20 years, and they are looking forward to 20 more. Jeremy and Misty Brushwood, they met online as well. They got together just before Valentine's Day in 2015, and they've been married since October the 3rd of last year. And there's Jason and Stephanie Thompson. These two lovebirds met at a high school football game back in 1988, and they got married in 1993. So we want to say thank you to everyone who submitted photos of their cutest couples. You can view them all right now on our website, which you see right down there, KOAMNewsNow.com. We'll be right back with the final check of the forecast after this. Well, Nick, I can tell you right now, doing Lil Jon impersonations in a break, not a good idea. It kind of gets the throat scratchy. Something else that might get the throat scratchy, if you spend a little too much time outside tonight.
I know, with temperatures dropping to 6 below, it's not a good idea to be outside at all. And we'll only go to 3 tomorrow as our snow chances start to wind down. A break on Tuesday, another shot for snow Wednesday, Chris, but then we're going to finally inch back above freezing by the weekend.
I'm looking forward to that. So is everyone else. Nick, thank you. And that's our time for now. We'll be back at 5 a.m. And thank you for making us part of your night.
If you see